Defined as a supreme husk, ferrymen play a vital role in passage between layers of hell and in opening barriers. We all know that ferrymen are responsible for transporting souls of the damned from layer to layer. But why do they do it? The ferrymen undertake this duty in hopes of one day being granted transcendence into an angel, and to please Gabriel, whom they all worship for his benevolence toward them. Their love for Gabriel is expressed through their creation of idols and monuments in his honor, and further expressed in a ferryman's journal, which states the following. Some calamity has strucken the mortal world. What once was the river Styx has now grown to an unfathomable ocean. 1,000,000 weeping souls pouring in each day that the shores can barely contain. A terrible tide spilling at each end, bow to stern, crying for mercy, begging for safe passage. But not all souls can pay, and these old hands can only take so many coins. Then one day the current shifted, wave after wave for minutes on end of millions, billions, as though the throat of the world was cut wide and the head wrenched back to speed the pour. I didn't have time to react. The weariness from my ceaseless work claimed me, and I slipped beneath the rolling sea into the depths of the ocean stacks, my fate sealed by the crushing masses of endless bodies. Suddenly there was a light, as brilliant as the Lord himself, ushering me from the darkness with mighty arms that held me with such compassion and warmth as I have never known.
Be not afraid, sinner. Your devotion to God shows goodness in you, plentiful indeed. The heart is willing, but the body must rest, lest you squander one of the Lord's creations.
His gentle words eased the pain and mended my wounds, my face wet with tears of relief, my wounds muffled by the weight of my duty. I could only lie in reverence, carried in the embrace of majesty. Radiant is Gabriel, for he is the light in my darkness. Ferryman's devotion to God's order, even as a husk, is recognized by the angels, whom have gifted them a white cloth that harbors holy energy. The ferrymen use these holy cloths to hide their bodies, because it reminds them of the sins they committed that prevented them from getting into heaven. Wearing the holy cloth allows its energy to slowly flow into the wearer, over time changing them to have a brighter, more radiant appearance. The newly masked energy in their bodies is what makes the remains usable as keys to open barriers. This makes it clear as to why the skulls V1 has used to open barriers are in fact those of fallen ferrymen. And this also implies the possibility of red ferrymen V1 has yet to encounter. And it further implies the ferrymen die. The souls damned to hell are supposed to endure eternal suffering, and death would grant an end to that suffering. Hence to why the souls damned to hell can never die. One example of this is the Solon in the ocean of Styx, whom eternally drowned. We have seen V1 personally dismantle countless husks, but does this mean the soul dies too? This topic could merit a video of its own, but let's stay on topic and answer a few other questions all this has brought to light. How are the ferrymen dying, and why are they so good at combat? When a new ferryman is formed, they are not immediately granted a ship or their holy cloth. They must prove to the heavens they are worthy of the position by earning their cloth and ship through combat. There can only be one ferryman per ship, meaning a new ferryman must kill the ship's current ferryman to claim their ship and holy cloth as their own. The victor not only keeps the ship and the cloth, but would also keep the skull of the defeated as a trophy and as a key to pass through barriers of hell. All this ferryman territory combat is definitely badass, but it sparked a question in my mind. How would a newly formed ferryman ever defeat a current ferryman that already has a holy cloth? Because the cloth gives them power. This question, like many others, was answered through the data terminal, where it says ferrymen can use the knowledge they have gained from past lives. This allows them to always be evolving, becoming better. How does this affect the outcome of a battle? Imagine a ferryman with his power is a soul originally from the 1700s and has been the captain of his ship for a very long time, using only an oar as his weapon. Now, a newly formed ferryman challenges him for the cloth and ship, but the newly formed ferryman is from modern times And his past knowledge happened to be how to build a fucking rocket launcher. Who do you think would win? Definitely not the dude with a cloth and a stick. Technology and knowledge has the potential to outweigh any type of magic in the ULTRAKILL universe. This has been demonstrated multiple times through V1. In the current state of the ULTRAKILL universe, all of mankind is dead. The Ferryman wander the layers of hell aimlessly, battling one another for power, hoping the angels will grant them passage to heaven, knowing that only Gabriel cares of their efforts. It would appear their punishment for their sins is to hope for passage to heaven that will never come, and endlessly battle for power that is truly futile.